This game involves an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk.
Welcome to this very special interview with somebody who is at the head of the Punjab Kings, and someone who has been part of my own profession for years. A very, very well-known voice. I have heard him plenty of times, been listening to him, reading his stuff, his quotes. But it's important to pick his brains on multiple things IPL. Thank you very much, Satish, for giving me time and coming on.
Thank you, Boria. Thank you so much. Pleasure always to hear you more than me. My voice is never heard. I always claim to be a backroom boy.
Yeah, but you make it happen. I document it. So your work is of paramount importance for me to be able to document it. So that's my first question, Satish. All of us are anxious. All of us are anxious with the number of COVID cases, even within the IPL. We know that the BCCI and the franchises did a fantastic job in the UAE. I've had a chat with Saurav also on this. Tell me, give me a sense. Are you happy with the biobubble plans that are in place? Are you happy with your own team? Is there anxiety? Give me a sense of what is going on.
Okay, so I'll start with the easiest one. Is there anxiety? Yes, there is anxiety. And as human beings, I guess all of us are worried about where this is headed. Anxiety also comes from the fact that, that you're kind of, encased in a hotel room, with no access to the outside world. But to come to whether the biobubble is secure, whether the biobubble is completely sanitized, I completely say that, that there is no doubt about the fact that, the way that BCCI has gone about it, full marks to them, kudos to the people behind this, whoever is handling this, just as much as well as they did Dubai. They've done a great job of Mumbai. We have no complaint whatsoever. We actually took the cue from where they said choose a hotel which has got a better kind of facility in terms of being able to accommodate a biobubble. So we chose a slightly smaller hotel, and we thought it through completely. We requested them to give us MCA because this hotel was based in BKC in Mumbai, and MCA is about, say, 1,000 meters from where this is. So we said, if you could accommodate us there. So they gave us majority of our games in MCA. So this hotel that we live in has only one lift from behind. So the rest of the front office is all actually not accessible to us. So this back lift is what we take. It's a single lift, opens on only 3 floors on which we occupy. We took a floor which has got a swimming pool, a gym. And so therefore, there's no way anyone can access. Add to that the fact that there's always governance that's on, because BCCI has actually placed 6 people within our bubble. So there is always a watch and ward staff that's overlooking your stuff, and which I think is a very good thing, because we are all human at the end of the day, and at some point you tend to sometimes lose it, but it hasn't happened so far. We are very happy, and the boys are very, very disciplined. I must confess that, I was reading an interview with David Malan this morning in the Times of India, and he had the same thing to say. I mean, I'm impressed, the fact that, all these Indian boys have been out there for so long, completely out of touch with the outside world. I salute all of them, and they're entertaining. Don't forget, I mean, the world may say what they have to say, but, this is the only form of entertainment that you can get when you're sitting at home. And the attendant, stuff that follows with that, whether it's your show, because these are all, part of the same roots. You see, whether it is what's happening on digital, whether it's what's happening by the side with the kind of shows that you do, and so on, so forth.
I entirely agree with you on that, because ultimately I'm also almost in a self-imposed bio bubble, and the thing I look forward to are my shows at the IPL. I will chat with Satish, I will pick someone else's brain. Okay, we will chat sport, and that gives me positive vibes. Otherwise, I will drift into negativity and depression. So 200% with you on that. 2 questions now, Satish. One, give me because there has been a lot of anxiety even within our fraternity that, unlike in Dubai, this time the bio bubbles could have been porous, because in India we have this culture of jugaad, we have this culture of entitlement among officials. Just reiterate that once more, what you just said, that are the bubbles strict, are the bubbles secure, and nobody is able to breach? That's question number 1. And question number 2, you alluded to this. Give me a sense of how your players are dealing with this bubble life, because we've all talked about mental anxiety and stress and how you deal with that. So it is very important for people to appreciate each one of you guys inside these bubbles and how much effort it takes to pull it off. So 2 questions.
So I must say this. I mean, I can largely speak for my team more than any other, because I have no idea because none of us have access. If I say that I've seen what goes on in other people's bio bubble, then I'm exposing myself to the fact that the bio bubble is porous. You see, but no, absolutely not. It's not at all porous, not in any sense of the term. So I think we're very fortunate to have had a BCCI team which actually has been very judicious in the way they've gone about it. They have thought it through, and the fact that they have actually, it's a kind of a drill. And we've been lucky that we went through, lucky in the sense of saying that I mean, nobody's lucky that you're in a bio bubble, but I'm lucky in the sense of the kind of experience that we got while we were in Dubai. That experience is something that we carried here. So it became easier on all of us. And this I think I would be speaking for all the franchisees, that, that all of us had a sense of training, before we came from Dubai.
Yeah.
In no way is it porous. In no sense of the term can it be porous. They are very strict, and you've got to adhere to this to a T. And someone like the CEO there, Hemang Amin, has been in touch with us on a regular basis. Any deviation that he even suspects, he would pick up the phone on either Mr. Anil Kumble or me and say that, look, we need to change this, we need to do this. So they're constantly watching what you're doing. So I think it's not at all porous. To your next question on how are the boys dealing with the situation, I talked to some of them on the phone or when we have a meeting on Zoom. They're all going through their own stuff. What we've done is we've created a lot of things within that bubble which would keep them entertained, excited, and involved, you see. So in a way, we also call it a team building exercise, although we did it in smaller measures even before COVID happened. So last time round was a learning again, where we saw that, that what we did was not enough. So therefore, this year, we've created a different environment altogether. So the boys can come there, hang out. It's the kind of, we call it the team hangout place, you see. So they come there, the games to be played. I realized that one of the key things that these guys miss, I mean, some of them, I don't have so many golfers this time, is actually going out golfing. On the back side of the hotel, with cooperation from this hotel, Sofitel, which has been most cooperative, we've created a green, a turf kind of an area where we've set up a simulator where you can play golf. And for even those that have never tried golf, they are there every day trying to play a round of golf. And it's fabulous. You can choose a golf course of your choice. You can play the whichever hole you want to. If you just want to tee, you can do that. And I tried it myself, before we set it up. It's superb. So the boys are completely engaged. And of course, we have watering holes, upstairs. So they have enough time to spend there and so on and so forth. So I think both from a standpoint of porousness, if I may use the word loosely, or from the sense of, whether they're bogged down because of being inside, a kind of a bubble. No, we're handling it to the extent possible. But Boria, you must understand that, I only get so much because there's only so much information that pours in, only from the standpoint of whether the boys are really happy. I'm sure they have some sense of unhappiness. They're human at the end of the day, would want to get out. Most of them would want to get out there and play. And once I think the games start, then I think it's all systems go. I'm waiting for that ninth. When it all rolls out from 9th onwards, I don't think anyone's going to think about where they are.
Agree. And this golf point is very well taken. I remember last year before the UAE leg, David Warner used to call me every second day and ask that, do you know if we'll be allowed to play golf? Do you know we'll be, because that's the kind of thing that I completely buy that point. But now to something different, Satish. Last year, KL and Mayank both told me on my show that the deal was if Punjab wins it, Anil will sing. Last year it didn't happen. Give me a sense how your team is shaping up this time round. What is it looking like? They have promised me. Yes. I'll send you the clip. So both Mayank and KL said we've had a deal. If we win, Anil Bhai will sing. I'm like, and Mandeep will make him dance as well, and we'll teach him the dance moves. So that was the plan. Bhangra, correct. So unfortunately it didn't happen last year, but you have the team this year. So how positive are you as the boss of the team? How are you looking at it? This is a great team. If you can get it together, get the boys to come to form together, you have a great chance. Give me a sense of the team.
No, for one, I'd be happy to see him singing all the time. and I hope it happens. I'm going to pass this on, Boria, to my promoters and saying, Boria was saying that, we expect him to sing. So we're going to make him
I'll
sing.
send you the clip. I'll send you the clip. Yeah.
Great. So no, we're going to make him sing. So I don't think we would have had, a better coach than him, simply because I am of the firm belief that unlike any other format of cricket, T20 is best suited to have a coach who's right, because it's only time that you get the coach to sit in the dugout. So it's as much as it's important to have a great captain or good captain, it's important to have a good coach because he's passing on instructions down to the team. To your question on how and how much do I see this team as getting together and getting to the top. Look, fingers crossed. I think we've got the best side going. We found out where our weaknesses were last year. We had a problem in the middle order. We didn't have a backup fast bowler. We have Shami, who's I would consider among the best. I mean, you're a better judge, a historian. You know exactly. You follow everyone. We also have a couple of boys, who's never been tried. Those two Australian boys, both Jai and Meredith.
Both are superb.
Both are superb. And the advantage, I keep saying this, is that if they've not been tried, it can cut both ways. But all I'm saying is, if they've not been tried, they're a surprise package. So there's one side which is that So again, I go back to the auction and saying that were we right in letting go of 8 players? A small auction, I kept telling this to Anil and saying is the most difficult auction to pull off, because you may have 30, 32, 50, 52 crores on you. We had 52.5 crores or thereabouts. But the fact remains that somebody who's got 10 crores, or let's say 3 teams have 10 crores and they want 1 player each, they went up to 10 crores, then you're down by 30 crores straight. You see, and you need 8 players. So it's always this toss-up of whether it's a good thing to have it or not. Yeah, so coming back to your question, I think we have a fairly good team. Having said that, you can never say till that day on the field. I think we filled up most of the gaps. If there is still an issue, my worry is always one of who out of your foreign players, who will you be able to place where? I think that's going to be a bit of a fight because it's a case of too many as you look back. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very positive, as I've always been. I think we've had some narrow misses the last 3 years. Even the year before, if you remember in 2017, it was that we won the first 5 games.
Yes.
And from then on, we just kept losing. I mean, I don't know what went wrong. And what with having, if I may use the term, our talisman, Chris Gale, if he gets going, there's no way that, that anyone can stop him. You have great backup in David. I think one of the finest, although he started a little late, and that as that article was, not that I knew much about this, but he said that he started late because he was still not ready for it. I like people like this who say that, look, I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready too. Even at 33, I'm ready and raring to go. So to sum it up, I think this time we got to hit the top. Okay, I'm not saying whether we'll make the top 4, we'll make the top 2. So my economics that I worked out in terms of projections and stuff like that, which is because we are a lot more audited company, we've got some of the top industrialists who own it. So I'm constantly providing them numbers, analysis, and so on and so forth between me and my CFO. And my estimate is, that we should be in the top 4, if nothing else. But well, we always aim for the top. We'd like to lift the cup this year. This is the least we can do for our fans, which will
I'll
come
say
back
this.
to.
I'm not a numbers man, but I see the talent that you have. I mean, Gail, Mayank, Chris, David, Nick, 2 of them will play assuming. What an incredible batting lineup that is. And then you have a reasonably solid finisher as well. And then if you see that bowling attack, I mean, Shami and Ashdeep and obviously Ravi among the Indians. And then to see that Jordan, Jai and Meredith, I don't see chinks. Unlike last year where there were 2 bowlers where people could attack, this year you have all of the boxes. Give me a sense, no injuries, right? And everybody is available. Give me a sense.
Absolutely. Don't forget Fabian. He's been in great form.
Yes.
Don't forget Fabian.
That was my next question. That give me a sense, because you have an idea of people who have played practice games and how people are shaping up. So give me a sense of what it's looking like among all your players.
Yeah. So I was looking up our social media handles this morning as usual, and then I see this that we put out some teams at possible 11 and so on and so forth. Boria, it's really going to be, as much as it's going to be a big battle out there, it's going to be a battle in Anil's and the other support staff's mind, somebody like an Andy Flower and others sitting there, in terms of what kind of level will they play. So I'll give you the big picture. My assumption is that given the conditions, I mean, depending on where you're playing and depending who your opponent is, and depending on finer details like how many left-handed batsmen there are in the opposition, I think we will configure a team that's suited best for that ground. I mean, there is nothing like, there would be a sure shot slots. For example, you can't deny the fact that Puran's bound to be there, because Puran is Puran at the end of the day. I don't think there's a better striker of the ball than him. But having said that, what do you do in the middle order? So I would say somebody like Deepak Hooda, who can. So let me. I think, given the limited time and the fact that you have so many questions, I won't ramble so much. But so you've got a fixed top four, which any team would envy. Whether it's KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, you have Chris Gayle, and you've got Puran. God, I mean, this is a dream come true. So within that, you've got this whole mix of where would David Malan fit in. At the end of the day, you can only play 4 foreigners. Okay. Like I was listening to your show yesterday, I keep telling this to Anil and the team that we will have to look at playing both the fast bowlers, both Jai and Meredith. But given the situation, I don't know whether that's going to be possible. So, for example, in a ground like Chennai, would you want to try a Fabian Allen there?
Very likely, because it will turn. Traditionally, Chennai has been a fortress for MS because of that.
Yeah. So this is, I'm a writer. This is not I'm not reading any of my coaches' minds. Coaches' minds. This is my assessment sitting outside, listening to my coaches. So it's quite likely that you will see a mix which will keep changing, I believe, with the lower games, depending on what the results are of the games and so on and so forth. So I think we've got a great challenge. Anil has got a great challenge more than anybody else on how he's going to put together the playing 11. I think this is really the big question.
Final questions before I let you go. What was the sort of need to change? Is Punjab Kings more relatable?
1 minute, Boria, if you don't mind, can you repeat that? I think there's a bit of a sound in the background. I think.
Yeah. So I said the name change to Punjab Kings. Is it because it's more relatable? Is it to put Punjab in the forefront, more accessible to fans? What was the need?
No, it wasn't as if we wanted to become very hardcore into Punjab. We are completely Punjab all the way. And the word Punjab actually was a suffix in any case in the Kings 11 Punjab thing. But I think with any brand, I come from a bit of a marketing background. Therefore, I believe that with any brand, there is a sense of, if I may use, refreshing the brand. It's a cliche term, but in a way we wanted to refresh it. What does that mean at the end? We work closely with a research company, work with a design company. We had a set of design companies that actually helped us build this. To our mind, it does 2 things. One, it kind of sends out a different message. So there's something happening within, okay, that makes your current fans sit up and watch. Second, it attracts new fans, and in typical marketing parlance, in the old Philip Kotler style, it would say it attracts more customers. So when you change name, the immediate reaction from the market is, oh, what's going on there? So the idea was, because we have a few plans, whether it's on digital, whether it's on ground. So we have a certain plan, and we knew that we needed a hook for that. How do you get more and more people attracted to this? The whole plan was to change. It's like changing the packaging of a box. Tomorrow, if Tata Tea decides that they want to change the box completely and make it look like something completely different, I'm sure that they will immediately attract a few customers, purely because of the fact that there's something. If the outside is changed, there's something happening inside. So let's hear the story types. I'm putting it very simply. I mean, there are complex, equations in terms of why and why not. We had a mathematical model on what will happen. So strictly between you and me on this show, we probably, when we started off a few years back, we hardly had a base, because we didn't even have a database in terms of our ticketing and so on and so forth. Today, in 4 years' time, we have close to about 12 to 15 million people, all our social handles put together. We today have a website that I'm building that, which I believe I'm looking at migrating as many people there as possible. You see, because it's a home turf for us. You don't have to be on borrowed platforms. And lastly, this year we've also launched, we started, the beta version was launched last year of an app. This has been upgraded. It's handled out of London by the Tech Mahindra team. So there's lots happening, but how do I announce it to the world? The best way to announce it is saying, put a new board there. You know, it's like a new building with a new board, you know. So for a common man, this is what it does.
Last two, one of my favorites is KL Rahul. Just talk to me about KL, the leader. You watch him every day. Give me a sense of KL Rahul, the leader, perhaps one of the best we have in the business. But the way he has adapted to leadership gives me so much hope for even India. So your sense of KL Rahul, the leader.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best emerging captains, you know, that you have seen in recent times. His understanding of the game. And I think in addition to that, I've always said this, you know, the keeper has the best view of what goes on, you see. Yeah. And if you notice, if you look back, you're a historian, you will see that you had better captains when they were wicket keepers than we had, which is not to cast aspersions on anybody. But I'm saying that he gets, this is something that Viru told me, you know, that if you had a keeper standing behind, you know, it always works better that, you know, that he has a clearer view. And I think he's been training himself and under some of the best captains that this country has seen in recent times, you know. And I think he's a great learner, which is what I've seen of him, because I've seen him at a time when he came in the first year, still finding his feet. You know, he was there, but yet, you know, it was a choice that we made. No one would have believed that RCB would let go of him, but we picked him up with a sure shot, the foresight that, you know, that this guy is going to make it. I mean, numbers, we worked on certain numbers. We looked at analysis of what he's been doing, how he's been performing, what formats did he work. I think the other thing I saw of him in the 2 years that he was not a captain was that, you know, his camaraderie levels are very high. You know, he makes friends very fast. And he's a very easygoing guy. You know, it's like your show. Your show is very easygoing. You know, there's nothing, you know, you don't feel like you're stifled, or that, you know, you feel stiff about it, and that you're being put down to be asked a question which is controversial. No, you never do that. I've seen your shows, but it's the same thing with him. I've seen him. He's one with all, you know. He talks in a language that they are comfortable with. He's also closer to their age. You know, we have a lot of kids who are below 25. Okay, so they all look up to him, and, you know, I remember on one of the videos him saying that, you know, I feel a little shocked when, you know, from if people call me from Rahul Bhaiya, I've suddenly become Rahul Sir. He said, I don't like it. And I like that, because that's also my style. Despite my age, I tell people call me by my first name, because that brings a sense of, you know, saying, I'm open to listening to you. You know, I'm open to understanding from you. I always do. And that's the only way to learn. You know, you look up to youngsters, you know, who brings in fresh thoughts, fresh ideas, and you adapt, you know. So I think Rahul's adopting the same kind of approach in carrying people with him. I think he's superb. I think he's blossomed into a great leader. And in time to come, God willing, he gets there.
Absolutely. My final one, Satish, floor is yours. Ultimately, you play for the fans. Your millions of fans, not only on social media, across every platform, people who will be watching and cheering for Punjab. Just talk to them using my platform, because again, during COVID, this is something each one of us are looking forward to, because this will be our injection of positivity. So it's not simply cricket, it's a life lesson. IPL is also a life lesson to stay happy, stay positive. Know that the world has more than COVID. The world has more than toxic television debates. The world has more than political elections where nobody follows rules. The world has far more than the negativity around. So talk to my fans, whatever message to your fans who are listening, you know, to this interview, from the boss to them. What is Punjab all about in the next minute or so before I close?
So Boria, you said it all, actually. Even you preempted me in saying exactly what you say. We are here to entertain you, my fans, and everybody else's fans, or the world at large, the public out there. Stay at home. We're going to sit and entertain you. We're going to play a great game, as has been the case year after year. The BCCI is actually like a platform which is coming out there to help stay completely entertained and completely happy. We want you guys to be completely bereft of any form of feeling that I can't get out and therefore I feel depressed or down. No, engage yourself in the game, engage yourself in shows like these, or in analysis that happens for those that are interested on so many other platforms. I mean, we'll take up a few hours of your day every day and keep you completely on your toes, keep you excited, keep you thinking. That's our role for the next 2.5 months. So be with us, stay safe, stay at home, look for your team, cheer for your team from at home, pray for all of us as much as we pray for you. God bless each one of you, my fans.
Super, super. All I will say at close is people who are worried about partial lockdowns or night curfews, the IPL starts 7:30. Our shows will start from 6 p.m. across platforms, including the host broadcaster. So between 6 and 12, you're taken care of. And after that, you will sleep anyways. And the next morning, you have some double-headed days. You wake up to cricket and what has happened the previous night. So it's not a problem. This night curfew is not a problem. Grapple with it because it's for you to remain safe, for your family to remain safe, and for us, each one of us, to enjoy the biggest and the best cricketing carnival this world has seen. This is India's contribution to the world. Let's get it done to the best of our ability. Celebrate people like Satish and his team because they are actually doing something that this country is proud of. Thank you. Thank you very much, Satish, for coming on the show.
Thank you. So well said. So well said. I can't match you word for word. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. This
You're
is,
super.
together we will get some good work done because ultimately what you people are doing is important for India. So on that note, wish you very, 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 very best. Hopefully, Anil will sing and that will happen on my show. Fingers crossed.
Thank you. Thank you, Bora, once again. Thank you very much, Bora.